Guys, this is a little tutorial on how to do your short answer questions. Now, you know you've been watching A Knight's Tale, and you know that you're being given some short answer questions as a project instead of the extended response questions or the essay. Now, I'm expecting really high quality short answer responses. Now, I'm going to talk you through some of the mistakes that you're going to be tempted to make when doing short answer questions and ways to get around it. So, before anything else, your short answer questions have to be written in full sentences. Now, I won't accept anything that isn't written in full sentences. And what that means is that I could pick up your answer and read it without the question in front of me. I could pick up your answer and it would make sense without any understanding of what A Knight's Tale was or any understanding of what your question was. Now, what you're likely to do, you're likely to get a question kind of like this one. Did A Knight's Tale accurately show what education was like in medieval Europe? Now, your first reaction will be to give a pretty easy answer to get it done, like yes. Because William couldn't read or write because he was a peasant. Now, I reckon you're nodding right now because you're probably thinking to yourself, yeah, that's how I normally write my responses. But you've already stuffed it up. Now, remembering a full sentence means that I can read your answer without the question, it will make complete sense, and it will be answered well. If I was to hide the question from you, and just give you your answer, yes, because William couldn't read or write because he was a peasant, that would make absolutely no sense to me at all. So the first thing we're going to do is step 1, write our answer in full sentences. A Knight's Tale accurately shows what education was like in medieval Europe because in the movie William couldn't read or write. William was a peasant and peasants weren't educated. Now, you're looking at that and saying that it's saying completely the same thing, but it's really not. If I was to hide the question now and give you my answer, even if you hadn't watched the movie, that answer would make complete sense. A Knight's Tale accurately shows what education was like in medieval Europe because in the movie, William couldn't read or write. William was a peasant and peasants weren't educated. So That's a full sentence response. That's probably worth a good. Fair enough. Now, to get beyond a good, I want to start seeing you adding in extra evidence or justification for your answer. Remember, all of history is just a series of arguments, and the person who backs up their argument the best wins. Their history is remembered. So I've got a little checklist here for you of things that you need to make sure you do in short answer questions. You need to make sure that your answer is at least 4, maybe 5, sometimes you can go beyond that, sentences. You need to make sure that you're writing in full sentences. You need to make sure that you give me an opening topic sentence which states the main idea of what your answer is going to be. You then need to give 2 to 3 reasons or explanations to support your main idea. If you can then add in evidence, to prove that you're right, and link that evidence to your answer, that's when you start getting really good marks and you start answering the question perfectly. That's how you get your excellence for your short answer questions. Now let's go back to what I just wrote and see how many of those things I can tick off as being done. Okay. Full sentences. A Knight's Tale accurately shows what education was like in medieval Europe because in the movie William couldn't read or write. That's a full sentence because it doesn't leave anything hanging. It clears up everything I wanted to say. You don't need to ask any questions of it. It ticks off the full sentences point. Now, have I written 4 to 5 sentences? No, I've only written 2 sentences, so I can build on my answer more. So to go up, I need to add 2 more sentences, at least. Let's put a cross next to that because I haven't done that. Have I given a topic sentence to state your main idea? A Knight's Tale accurately shows what education was like in medieval Europe because in the movie William couldn't read or write. I have given a topic sentence, which is an opening sentence, that has given my main idea. My main idea is, yes, a Knight's Tale accurately showed what education was like. That's my main idea. I've given that topic sentence and I've said that really clearly. I haven't waffled. I haven't written anything irrelevant, so I can put a tick next to that. Have I given 2 to 3 reasons or explanations to support my main idea? No, I've only given 1. I've said, yes, it's accurate because William couldn't read or write. He was a peasant and peasants weren't educated. That's only one reason or explanation to back up my main idea. So to increase my grade there, I need to give another reason or 2. To back up my answer. So I'm going to put a cross next to that one because I haven't done it. Last one. Have I added in evidence to prove that I'm right and linked that evidence to my answer? Yes. I've given a tiny bit of evidence. It's not the best, but it is there. I've said, in the movie, William couldn't read or write. That's evidence because it's something that I've taken directly from the movie, which is what this question is relating to. So I can use that as evidence. So I've done that, I just haven't done it well. So I might want to add more evidence in to support my answer. So this is what I have to do to change that good into a very good or excellent. So let's do that again. We're running with the same question. Did A Knight's Tale accurately show what education was like in medieval Europe? Now, we're going to start with a full sentence, but also a topic sentence to state my main idea. A Knight's Tale, and I'm stealing this from my previous answer. Just get my piece of paper back. A Knight's Tale accurately shows what education is like in medieval Europe. So, that is my topic sentence to state my main idea. So I can put another tick next to that. I've done that this time. Have I used full sentences? Absolutely. So far, I could read my answer without the question in front of me. So far, I'm on track to my full sentences. Now I need to build on it with some more sentences that give reasons or explanations to support my idea and include evidence. So, let's get going. The first point I'm going to steal from my other answer because that was a pretty good point. In the movie, William couldn't read or write. He was a peasant. And peasants weren't educated. Now the next example I'm probably going to use to back up my point was that scene where they first met Jeff while they were counting their money after winning the joust. So they met Jeff, and Jeff uses a lot of big fancy words that the peasants, so William, Roland, and Falhurst, didn't know. And that word was trudge. So I'm going to use that as my next example because I can remember it really clearly. Another example of this was when the main characters first met Jeff. Jeff said that he was trudging. But then had to explain the meaning to the uneducated peasants. Okay. Now I've written extremely big on this piece of paper so that you can see it. If you had written exactly what I wrote, you probably would have done 4 to 5 lines, which is what I'd expect from a short answer response. So let's go through now, read over my answer and see how many of these things that I've done. A Knight's Tale accurately shows what education was like in medieval Europe. In the movie, William couldn't read or write. He was a peasant and peasants weren't educated. Another example of this was when the main characters first met Jeff. Jeff said that he was trudging, but then had to explain the meaning of the word to the uneducated peasants. Now let's count how many sentences I've written. 1, 2, 3, 4. So, coming back over to our little checklist, have I written 4 to 5 sentences? Yes. I haven't waffled on. Have I written in full sentences? Yes. Have I given a topic sentence to state my main idea? Yes. Have I given 2 to 3 reasons or explanations to support my main idea? Yes. Now, I only used 2 reasons, but I explained them very well. Did I add in evidence to prove that I was right and link that evidence to my answer? Yes. I used 2 counts of evidence. Jeff explaining the word trudging, and what was the other one? William not being able to read or write. So if you gave me an answer like that, I would give you an excellent for it. So comparing the two, it's not that hard to go from a good to an excellent in an extra 2 minutes worth of work. This entire recording has gone for 17 minutes, and in that time I've explained the whole thing, I've given you a checklist, I've written an extremely good response to a question, so I would expect that you could achieve a question like this and 3 or 4 others in 1 unit. Good luck.